Now on Florida's Voice, representing the Great Florida 8. Ooh, how about that? The Great Florida 8.
I love it.
Yes,
I love it.
You could use that anytime you want, Congressman. Good to see you. How are you?
Thank you, Drew. Thank you. Great to see you, and Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to you as well. We haven't had a chance to talk about this, the decisive action that the president has taken with Maduro and protecting Venezuelans and freedom there, and a lot of what has been happening. I'd like to get your thoughts.
Well, thanks. Well, first of all, let's just put it really simply. Some people talk, some people act. And the president is backing up his promises made on the campaign trail, whether it be on tax cuts or just common sense legislation, taking on enemies, longtime enemies like Iran, and finally toppling Maduro, who's been a thorn, not just the American side, but maybe most importantly to the Venezuelans themselves. He defied 2 elections, the last one which he lost with taking only 30% of the vote. And he is a narco-terrorist, meaning he's a drug dealer thug. And the president finally said, enough is enough. Let's liberate Venezuela. After all, 8 million fled that country. Over 800,000 came to America. And so we are looking at ways to make sure our backyard is safe and make democracy, but more importantly, freedom available to more people around the world without going to war. We simply extracted a known terrorist, criminal, drug dealer, and we did it in a smart way. And yet, I hate to say it, Drew, but the Democrats are not even satisfied with that perfection.
Yeah, of course. But, you'll have a president who will put a bounty on him, but it's like, we're not going to do anything about it. I mean, don't actually do something about this. It seems like the MO for Democrats. It's like, there's something to be said about people who talk tough but do nothing. And then there are people who are like, no, I think we're going to do something. We're going to back this up like a peace through strength initiative, which would be nice, especially considering we live in a world now where we need to make sure more than ever that we are protecting American interests.
We really are. Remember, Venezuela, where Maduro was playing with all of our enemies, China, Iran, Cuba, all the bad guys were there. Right. And what we decided to do in Russia, we decided we're not going to allow the Monroe Doctrine to be undercut. We're going to make sure that a nation that should be wealthy has the opportunity to gain that wealth. We're also going to make sure there's more energy supply, and simple supply and demand laws tell me prices go down when there's more energy available. That's good for Americans after 4 years of Joe Biden's failure, when we saw gas prices rise to over $4 a gallon. So we're moving in the right direction. We're keeping our promises, and we're helping people achieve the dream of freedom. And what's not being shown by the mainstream media, they're not showing the celebrations in Venezuela. They're not, because they know it undercuts the mainstream media. That's why shows like yours are so important.
Oh, we appreciate that. And by the way, a mainstream media that was insisting that there was no Cuban military, there was no Cubans in Venezuela, until you find out all of a sudden it's like, hey, what were Cubans doing there in Venezuela? Then you realize that, and it's like that whole narrative is flipped upside down. But, this is what we're fighting against and what we're dealing with. And before we go, you mentioned something about the economy. I heard that right now we have an average gas price that's the lowest level since 2021. I'm telling you, I feel like within the next few months moving forward, I feel like we are really, really going to start to feel what has been out there with the One Big Beautiful Bill and more. I think economically, it's some exciting times are coming up. We got about a minute.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Look, we have a long way to go still, no doubt. But we inherited a dumpster fire with Joe Biden. High prices across the board. You saw interest rates over 7%. Gas prices, you mentioned, so high. We're just trying to make America more affordable again.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing, of course, your 401k is up. Inflation is down. Yeah. And we're doing everything we can to put more money back in your pockets, let alone more power.
Sorry, Congressman, we're up against the hard break. Sorry about that. We've got to run. But listen, thanks for a few minutes of your time. Always appreciate it. All the best. God bless.
To Florida's Voice.